What's going on, guys, and welcome back. Today I want to talk about a new plan to get money into the hands of the American people. We're going to dive into a $500 universal basic income pilot program from one specific city. We're going to talk about the stimulus package update, and I want to explain how some are saying workers are going to be coming back to work very soon. This is all because of one specific thing. So I'm going to address that in today's video. First off, just want to say thank you guys for continuing to watch and for always supporting the channel. Hitting that like button really does help. But let's get into the update for today. Again, if you have any questions whatsoever, please ask your questions down in the comment section below. Here's what we know. Today, Jared Bernstein, he is an economic advisor to President Biden. Well, he said that the labor market will likely improve by December or January coming up, because people that are out of the workforce are going to be depleting their savings and will be forced to go back to work. After he said this, multiple people jumped on this statement. One economist said this very thing about a month ago as well. But what we are hearing now is that multiple cities are trying to do what they can to provide for their people, give help when they can, provide assistance if it is needed. Well, we know that the Biden administration put the unemployment issues onto the states. President Biden said that if the states and the governors wanted to come out and provide the $300 per week boost to their residents, they were more than able to do so by using the money that they received from the $350 billion in stimulus funding. Well, no state took President Biden up on that offer. Even when the Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen said that these states were able to do this, nobody batted an eye. Nobody cared. Well, now multiple politicians have questioned current lawmakers. And again, I just want to point this out. When a politician who's somebody that is running for office, running to take one of these seats from one of the current lawmakers, says something, you have to take this with a little bit of grain of salt because they are fighting for that seat. So even though they may bash somebody for their decisions, what you need to understand is that could be the exact same decision that politician makes in the future, but they're just trying to get that seat. So with that said, multiple politicians have questioned current lawmakers. Many wonder why all the benefits to the American people in this upcoming infrastructure bill, where have they gone? What are we doing? How is this supposed to be for the American people when there's barely anything in it for the American people? We know Medicare is potentially going to get cut. We're already seeing they're fighting over that. We know the paid family medical leave, that's been cut from 12 weeks down to 4, and the expectation is we could see it even drop further, or it could simply be cut altogether. The child tax credit payments, they were supposed to be for 4 years. Then they were supposed to be for 2 years. Now they settled on 1 year. But in addition to 1 year, there could potentially be a work requirement from Senator Joe Manchin. And instead of families that make $150,000 or less, it is now potentially going to be at $60,000 or less will still get the child tax credit payments. So, big changes. Many have stated that Democrats will lose the majority in the House and the Senate in the upcoming midterm elections. Senator Bernie Sanders said this exact same thing months back. He said that Democrats must go at this strong. We need to provide a big, bold, robust infrastructure package. This needs to be transformative. This needs to change people's lives, because if not, we risk losing the majority again, like we did back when former President Barack Obama was in office back in 2009 to 2011. After that, Republicans, I think, won the House or the Senate. I can't remember which one, but they did win one of them. Now, this is also why many states and cities are now saying that it's going to be up to them to step up for their people. Now, here's what we know. Regarding the $500 per month universal basic income program, the city of Chicago announced yesterday, this was coming from Mayor Lori Lightfoot. She says that she wants to use about $31 million of her 2022 federal budget She wants to do a 1-year pilot program for about 5,000 low-income households, and it's going to provide $500 per month for 1 full year. So that's $6,000 for a year for one household. She says that she knows exactly what it is like to live paycheck to paycheck, and every little bit does help. And after this was announced, just to give you an idea, multiple economists questioned not what Mayor Lori Lightfoot was doing, not what the city of Chicago was going to potentially be doing. This will be one of the biggest universal basic income programs here in the country. But many economists questioned why other cities have waited so long and are not willing to do a universal basic income program. They have the money. Many have the money. They are just not spending it. It's sitting in an account doing absolutely nothing. But these economists argue that we know how well the stimulus checks did, how well those $1,200 stimulus checks did. They kept people out of poverty. They kept a roof over their head, put food on the table. Just the first 2 rounds, that was the $1,200 stimulus check, okay? Again, the $1,200 stimulus check was fairly big, right? The second one for $600, that was okay. The $1,400 stimulus check, that was the third one. That was the biggest one. However, the first 2 were the biggest in terms of they helped the most. The first one, the $1,200 stimulus check that was passed under former President Donald Trump, that one helped the most people. Just the first 2 rounds. This lifted 11.7 million people out of poverty in 2020 alone. These checks, they helped keep food on the table, keep a roof over their head, and all this happened before the child tax credit payments even were being discussed. They were not even being discussed at this point. So some were saying that before these child tax credit payments were being distributed, these are the $250 or $300 per month tax credits for children. Well, the stimulus checks were the one thing that were keeping people, keeping them able to keep their lights on, keep their heat on, keep their electricity on, to keep water running. These were essential. And so right now, many economists are saying that we need additional help. That telling people that we're going to get back to work, things are going to be just great as soon as everybody's back to work. This is not the answer that everyone's looking for, because people are working. And let me ask you this, okay? Let me ask you this, because I heard this over and over during the entire pandemic, is I am still struggling to pay X bill and I am working a full-time job. How many people out there, let me know, are you working a full-time job and still struggle to meet ends meet, right? To make sure that you can keep the lights on, keep a roof over your head, you can put gas in your car when prices are just soaring. I think today I read that gas prices are now $3.38 or something, almost an increase of 4 cents in the past week. It's like 3.8 cents nationwide. So that's crazy right there. If we keep going up, 4 or 5 cents per week, that's quite a bit when some people travel a long ways. I have friends and very close friends that travel, and they have to go an hour, 2 to even 3 hours per day just to drive to work, and they have to drive back home from work another 1 to 2 hours. So that's crazy to me. That's crazy when they're driving hundreds of miles every single day just to go to work. But this is why many want to see additional stimulus check put into this next bill. But let me address that for a second, because a lot of people are asking, how come nobody's actually proposing something? Well, there's a reason. One of the things that we know is that if a senator, according to multiple reports, if a current senator is to demand a stimulus check right there, and if they demand it, not ask, not propose, but demand, you have to include a X amount stimulus check. Doesn't matter if it's a $200, $400, $600, $1,000, $2,000 stimulus check. It could be $1 million for all we care. Honestly, it's not going to happen, because if one senator demands a stimulus check to be included, according to reports, this bill would not pass, and it would put the bipartisan, this is a $1.2 trillion bipartisan hard infrastructure bill, it would put that in question as well. That's what we're hearing. So the reason why we're not seeing people ask for a stimulus check, propose a stimulus check, even bring up the idea of an additional fourth stimulus check is because they know that it would not pass. But again, I think the American people just want to see that there's somebody fighting for them. And that's the hard part is right now, according to all the reports that we're seeing, is lawmakers are kind of just giving up. Progressives are kind of just giving in to what the moderates want. The moderates are going to win, and we're going to see a very slim bill. Very little for the American people. But here's what we do know regarding this human infrastructure bill. According to reports today, we did learn that the billionaire tax is getting one step closer to actually passing. This billionaire tax is going to bring about $275 billion from just the top 10 billionaires here in the United States. This is Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, the Walton family, Mark Zuckerberg, people like that, right? Bill Gates, Warren Buffett. The other $225 billion, to bring it up to about $500 billion over 10 years, this is actually going to come from the rest of the billionaires. So right now, some are saying even with this billionaire tax, they question whether we have the ability to reach the $2 trillion mark. Some say that we're still fairly short depending on what we can agree on as far as the tax revenue that we can bring in. One lawmaker who didn't want to be addressed by name says that we must find a way to cover the cost of the bill before we can continue fighting for $2 trillion. At this point, it would make more sense to just accept $1.5 trillion because as of right now, that is all we have covered. And again, if we do not have this entire bill fully funded, multiple lawmakers would vote no and this bill would not pass. So, just to give you an idea, if the human infrastructure bill cannot pass, chances are progressives will not even vote on the $1.2 trillion bipartisan bill. So that's what we know right now regarding the infrastructure bills at this time. But let's address vaccines for 5 to 11-year-olds. Today, we learned that the FDA advisory panel voted to recommend the Pfizer vaccine for children 5 to 11. Again, I don't want to say that they approve this because this hasn't been approved by the FDA. This has simply been the FDA advisory panel recommends it. That is it. They recommended it 17-0. There was one person that was absent from this vote. So normally there's 18 votes. There's only 17 today, and it was 17-0. One of the vaccine experts, and again, I want to bring this up because I think this is extremely important as well. One of the vaccine experts says that he is very happy to see that this vaccine only provides 1/3 of the dose of the adult vaccine. 1/3 of the dose. That's pretty good because some were worried about the possible side effects, the adverse reactions. But now some question what we may see moving forward regarding schools and mandating a vaccine in order to attend. According to Dr. Cody Meisner, he's a professor of pediatrics at Tufts University School of Medicine. He said, and I quote, "I am worried that if we say yes, then the states are going to mandate administration of this vaccine for children to go to school. And I do not agree with that. I think that would be an error at this time." Another health official stated that mandating a vaccine for all school-age children at this time is not the right move. We must wait until we have more than just an emergency use authorization to mandate something of this magnitude. So here's what I want to say regarding that. First off, for schools to mandate a vaccine for children, this is something that has been going on for a while. This is something that I think it's like rubella, or there's a bunch of different vaccines that you're supposed to get in order to attend public school and some private schools as well. Now, even though yes, in order to go and attend these schools, you must get these specific shots. That has been happening for years, but also they have been approved by the FDA. Okay, even though, again, and I'll just throw it out there, I did get the COVID vaccine. Okay, you can hate me for it, whatever, it doesn't matter, right? I did it for myself. But one of the things that I know is every single person has the right to choose whether they want to get it or not. And they can decide if their children are going to get the vaccine or not. They have that choice. This is why we live here in the United States. We should not be mandated to get a vaccine. But here's one thing I want to say addressing the vaccine for children 5 to 11. This is an emergency use authorization. this isn't even a full approval by the FDA. So if people and schools decide to do a mandate, honestly, I think there's going to be a lot of pushback, not just from parents, but and children aren't really going to push back on this. Nobody wants to get a shot, but children probably aren't not going to fight for this. But what I can tell you is many states probably will. Many lawmakers most likely will. And as far as health experts, they're saying this is not something that we can mandate at this time. So just want to provide you with that quick little update because I think we're going to see some pushback here. I think this is going to be another one of those hotly contested vaccine mandates, but we will see what happens. And as we know more, I promise I'll fill you in on everything that we learn. So just want to thank you guys for watching. Hopefully you have a wonderful rest of your day. If you enjoyed today's video, go ahead, hit that like button. Also consider subscribing so I can keep you up to date on everything that is going on. Again, thank you guys for watching and I'll see you guys on the next one.